You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the Code Rad Show. I'm Jason. Here is Jim.
Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Jason.
Hey, Jim. Today we are discussing Doctor Who entering a new era back in, I believe, 1981. The first new Doctor in 7 years. Peter Davison premieres in a kind of a peculiar episode, I'd say.
Definitely, yeah. Tom Baker had been the Doctor for 7 years, which is the longest I think anybody has consistently served being the Doctor.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And eventually a replacement had to be found. So there was a show. I don't know if I should have asked Ed this. I'm not sure if this show ever aired here. But there was a show called All Creatures Great and Small. And Peter Davison played a character on there called Tristan. And I think that basically he was a vet. They called him, I think, the wet vet, I think. Because he was so
really?
young. He was, well, behind the ears, and he was so young. But I think John Nathan Turner wanted to fresh somebody younger, almost kind of like a Luke Skywalker kind of vibe. So, so I think that's what they had in mind. Somebody younger and a fresh face.
Yeah. John Nathan Turner definitely brought a different new vision to Doctor Who. And Peter Davison was a part of that. Big part of the revamping, quite different from all the Doctors that had gone before him. And CASTROVALVA is it's so different in a lot of ways from what you expect from a regeneration episode. I mean, the whole episode, the whole story, all 4 episodes were pretty much concerned with regeneration.
Yes.
Took the Doctor all 4 episodes to recover from the regeneration.
Yeah, I think we see here that this is the Doctor in his most... A lot of folks don't really like the 5th Doctor because they think that he's too weak, but I wouldn't call him weak. I think I would say he's definitely one of the more vulnerable of the Doctors, but I think vulnerability, I don't think doesn't really make one weak. I think it makes somebody more relatable and more human. And that's why I really like Peter Davison personally. And I didn't know this, according to Ed. Castrovalva is a real place in Italy, and apparently this particular serial, the artist M.C. Escher, you've probably seen him do the staircases and the he had a lithograph in 1930 called Castrovalva, which I believe means castle by the valley, I believe.
All right, it makes sense.
And it's a lithograph that he did from 1930, and that was the inspiration for the story. And I think towards the end, we can kind of see, they're not really sure which way to go, and they can't seem to get out of Castrovalva.
They definitely, you could tell they were going for an M.C. Escher kind of vibe there at some points in the story. They did the best they could to bring an M.C. Escher picture to life. And I mean, I think I picked up on that even before I learned about the Escher connection with the painting. Apparently there were some M.C. Escher paintings in the BBC offices, which John Nathan Turner disliked.
Oh.
And I think it was kind of a joke on Christopher Bidmead's part, who wrote the serial, to base the story on an Escher print, even though he chose one that didn't have the the trippy perspective that M.C. Escher is famous for. This is just like a straightforward picture lithograph, I believe, of a castle on the side of a valley, just like you said. So they based it on kind of like a regular painting or picture, but they did try to introduce that element of time folding in itself, running around in circles, not being able to escape. For sure. I mean, I definitely got that kind of Escher vibe when they're just walking, like, through, I don't know what you would call it, not a corridor, kind of like a walkway, like an elevated walkway, which unfortunately, when the camera was pointing up, I mean, you could see like the sound stage, you could see like the set of the castle ended, and then there would just be like a solid color. I think you could even see cables like holding the walls up. It's the
And even though it looks like Italy, apparently it was filmed in Sussex.
All right. Very nice countryside. After they escape from a cool, exciting introduction, the doctor is barely conscious. They have to escape from there's a thrilling chase scene where it's Tegan, right, who like steals the ambulance or the drives it about 50 yards.
I kind of like Tegan. I like Tegan.
When I became a total Doctor Who fanatic, it was like I started watching a few episodes later. I think it might have been during the Visitation or Earthshock, and so Tegan was there during that era, through almost to the end of Peter Davison era. And so I always loved Tegan. She was, everyone in my household loved Tegan because this was the 80s. We had like one TV in the house, so everyone had to watch Doctor Who. So so I think my parents like Tegan as well. She's she gets to think that she flew the TARDIS for part of the episode. Very disappointed to find out otherwise.
And then she lands it sort of on a slant, or like on
a cute joke. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that part. And I think that is a kind of thing that like Russell T Davies sort of borrowed when he was in charge of the show. Particularly like when the Christmas Invasion. I can't believe the doctor's the actor's name, David Tennant.
Yes,
I can't believe I blanked on it. Dave Tennant's first episode, they have a TARDIS crash landing. Was, I think, kind of similar to that.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. And he saw time crash where the fifth Doctor, or the 10th Doctor meets the fifth Doctor.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah, that was the special, right? Like the Christmas special.
Yes.
Yeah, and so all right, so the first, it's kind of it's a strange part of the reason why the episode is so strange is that the first half mostly takes place in the TARDIS.
Yes.
It's about the Zero Room. It's about the Doctor falling apart. There's kind of a cool scene where the Doctor is unraveling the scarf.
Yes.
Which is kind of, touching, but I think it's fitting. Yeah. Tom Baker's gone. And so I like the idea that the TARDIS is a place you could get lost in.
Yes.
It just goes on and on forever. And so the new Doctor has to pull apart the old Doctor's scarf, and which, I couldn't get too sad about it because obviously, they had changed Tom Baker's scarf, towards the later seasons, maybe in the last season. So it wasn't the classic scarf anyway. So, and we get to see the TARDIS seems to be sort of conscious, looking after the Doctor, gives him a wheelchair.
Yes.
Which, then later falls into a river and explodes. So after the TARDIS almost gets destroyed in a black hole, not in a black hole, in a Big Bang.
Yes.
Then like the plot changes. Like the CASTROVALVA is not even mentioned until like midway through the second episode.
I believe so. Yeah, trying to find a place for the Doctor to rest.
Yeah.
Find out things are not quite as they seem.
Yeah.
He meets the it's not the porter, but
Portreeve.
The Portreeve. Yes, I didn't know.
Is he like a pharmacist, something like that?
I think so. Yeah, but I kind of wish they would have hit this a little better, but I was like, oh, that's Anthony Ainley. So
Yeah,
the voice, I kind of thought they kind of disguise it a little better, but
yeah, they disguised him pretty well, but yeah, I mean, you're gonna realize it's him.
yeah, the voice, just the
It
voice.
might have taken me a little bit, but yeah.
It turns out CASTROVALVA actually is not real.
Yeah, and yeah, I this is a theme of the Code Rad show. I was not expecting this, but Doctor Who with Gnostic themes, where an sort of like an imaginary constructed world controlled by someone else. We've had a Carnival of Monsters.
Yep.
We've had Deadly Assassin. Now Castrovalva falls into that
Yeah.
category of film or Doctor Who episode. So I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, Adric. Not one of the most popular characters on Doctor Who.
No.
I'm reserving judgments because you can't really say too much about him in this one. I think he's fine in this one, but he's not in it that much.
Not really. Just you see him being tortured and just that web of the metal spikes or whatever that was.
Right, that was pretty
Um,
cool. Yeah, sort of like a German expressionist
yes.
set.
Let's see.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
he's
he is.
basically like a plot device. He's being used by the master, and I thought the
Yes.
plot was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. I think. I guess the only I've seen it before. I saw it on NJN years ago, and then I saw it in video, and I saw it in DVD. I think when I saw it again, and maybe because I guess when we get older, we get more jaded, I guess. But I didn't really enjoy this as much as this time around. But
Oh,
the
really?
Master's plot seemed a little bit too convoluted for me, like just too um I'm gonna set up this like fake world and just it just felt a little bit overly complex to me. But it was I do enjoy Peter Davison, so because I think we never saw a regeneration of go quite like they don't usually go smoothly right away, but this was
Yeah.
probably the toughest time he had. He really struggled with this one. He struggled, and calling Nissa or Tegan Vicky and
Mm-hmm.
calling
Mm-hmm.
Adric Jamie and just yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, I didn't like the Masters plot, but yeah, I did like seeing Peter Davison's Doctor.
Um, yeah. Uh, yeah, I thought he was very good in this episode, although, he doesn't have a lot to do. He sits in a casket or lies
Yes.
down in a casket for a lot. It it was a little bit frustrating. You're like, okay, doctor, you can get better now. It's like he you think he's getting better. Is like, oh, he's even levitating. And then as soon as he steps out of the zero room, he's helpless again. He actually needs Tegan and Nissa to carry him around.
Yes,
Um,
literally.
yeah, I didn't mind the plot, as far as what the master's plan was, but I found that it was a pretty low stakes episode.
Yeah, it was. It was.
They go there and everyone is nice, and of course later
Yeah.
on we learn there's like a dark secret behind. But
Yes.
they go to a nice place with a library where you read books and stuff, and I felt like that aspect of it was kind of redeemed. I don't know how much want to reveal, because yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend people watch this, but the master has a pretty grisly end in this, which I thought was pretty awesome.
Yes.
It was something
That
like right out of Return of the Living Dead or something.
yeah. That
pretty
was
pretty
pretty
Yeah,
and we know he'll come back, but we don't know how, but that was pretty grisly, yes.
that was kind of a theme, if I recall correctly, which I hardly remember anything correctly, but it, like, during the John Nathan Turner era, the master would like die at the end of every storyline, and then he would appear again with no explanation. I mean, maybe it was just implied that the master is so wily he would just find a way out of even the worst situations, even where it seems he's clearly dead. I remember him like burning to death at the end of a Peter Davison episode, and
Yes.
he just appeared again with no explanation. So, and oh yeah, and speaking of the low stakes nature of this episode, a word people use to describe the Master in this episode a lot is pantomime. And he does get right. It's pretty silly when he's trying to break into the Doctor's zero casket. He's grabbing, irons from the fire, trying to pry it open. And yeah, that was a little silly. It was enjoyable, but kind of hard to take him seriously.
The cartoon mallet.
Yeah.
He was kind of a cartoon villain sometimes, kind of a snarly, curses, foiled again with a mustache and just twirling it. He could be that way, but he wasn't as good as Roger Delgado was, but I still like Anthony Ainley.
He was my first Master, and
me too.
Hardly ever is anyone as good as the original. So, and especially since it was kind of a questionable idea to have the new Master just be kind of like a carbon copy of the old one.
Right, the mustache and beard,
That what they did in Deadly Assassin, I think, was a better idea. Things like that.
Oh yeah, he's all just decrepit and creepy and scary, and
go for something totally different.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think that's a good point. One other thing I thought was interesting is that up until then, Doctor Who had been shown on Saturdays. I think Saturday afternoon. I think at maybe 5:15. Maybe our UK viewers can confirm this, but now I saw, according to Ed, it was Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but I saw on Wiki it was Mondays and Tuesdays, but it doesn't really. Either way, it's just,
it doesn't really make it. Yeah, I think I read Monday and Tuesday, and I mean, I think that's a huge change for the show.
Yeah.
I mean, this was like the 18th, 19th season? Probably 19th.
Yeah, probably. Shy of, maybe, yeah.
And, Doctor Who was a Saturday tea time tradition in England. I would say that's a pretty big change that, we didn't appreciate in America. I mean, it didn't affect us. But I'm kind of thinking of like Doctor Who of the 80s is just like a different show from what came before it.
Yeah, I think that's very true. Yeah, almost like you finally got like a 1960s Batman kind of 2 weekdays in a row.
Right, yeah.
With a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, John Nathan Turner brought so many sweeping changes, and like if you're watching John Pertwee and Tom Baker episodes, and then you watch this. All the names in the credits are different.
Yes.
This Christopher H. Bidmead, which I would like to. I thought, I thought this was a solid episode. I thought there was a lot of creativity in it. Christopher Bidmead actually died just like 2 months ago.
Jeez, that's a shame.
Yeah, he died in August.
Oh, wow, that's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he wrote too many Doctor Who episodes, and I haven't watched Legopolis or Frontios in ever, but I enjoyed Castrovalva quite a bit.
Yeah, I did too. It was nice seeing it again, because I hadn't seen it in a long time, but I guess I love the opening of all the different openings that we've had. I know they kind of had it with Tom Baker too, but the stars, and they see we're going through space. And then the Doctor Space comes like right. I love that opening.
Oh gosh, yeah, I do too. It's amazing. It's aged so well.
Yeah.
I don't know the visuals and that version of the theme. I think with all the technology and everything they had with the 2004 reboot, I don't think they came close to matching this introduction. It really has just aged so well.
Yeah.
Along with, the Tom Baker classic, introduction. I love that credit sequence too. That would probably have to be my favorite. But when you see that now, like almost 50 years later, I don't think anyone has come close to coming up with a theme or a credit sequence anywhere near as good as, during the Peter Davison years. Technically, I guess it started during the Tom Baker years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that thing.
really makes me appreciate it that much more. Really fantastic. Definitely one of the good things that John Nathan Turner did taking over the show. I feel like he made not a completely different show, but he made a different show, and that was a positive change. Really, gives it an '80s feel. It's very 1980s.
The synthesizer, like the synthesizer, and the end credits, the boom,
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, have a lot of respect. I forget. Was it Ron Grainer?
Yes.
Was
I
he
think
the
so.
original? I get these names mixed up. I forget who did the arrangement. Was Ron Grainer the original composer? Did he do
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I forget the
Don't
name
worry.
of the guy who did the arrangement for the 1980s, but yeah, he did a fantastic job.
No, he definitely did. Yeah, and I may have mentioned this, but I think the first Doctor I ever saw was Peter Davison. So I think that opening and him will always be special to me. So yeah, he was my first Doctor.
Yeah, he wasn't my first Doctor, but he was the guy who was on when I started watching as a teenager. And that's
Okay.
when you really start to obsess over things, and your identity starts to become the stuff you like, your TV shows and your music and your movies and whatever. Reading, I was reading comic books at that time, and
Sure.
Doctor Who was definitely one of the things I obsessed over at that point, as probably about 13 or so, when I started watching the Peter Davison episodes on a daily basis.
Now, was Tom Baker your first Doctor?
Yeah. See, I saw them when they were on WOR when I was younger.
Oh, that's right. Yes, with the Howard Da Silva. Okay, yeah.
And they were just on, Saturdays. So it would be like once a week. And I watched them most times, but I was a little kid. You didn't obsess over stuff when you're like 7.
Not really, no.
I watched Doctor Who. I watched Star Trek when they showed it on Channel 11, on Sunday afternoons. Watched it, enjoyed it a lot. But it's not until you're a teenager where you really get fanatical about stuff like that. And Peter Davison was on when I was, at that point in my life.
Yeah, I think Tom Baker is a lot of folks' first Doctor. Yeah. Because I think it first started showing in the States in 1972 with John Pertwee, but I think it was off the air for a while. And then in the 1970s, they started showing Tom Baker episodes on PBS stations, and I think that it started really, really getting popular.
Yeah. When I was young watching those Tom Baker episodes, I had no idea anyone else had played the Doctor ever.
So wait, how many of them are there? It's like,
yeah.
Now there's like 15 or 16. I've started to lose count now.
Yeah, me too.
So many.
When I'm reading an article or something and I refer to the Doctor by the number, I just don't even know. Because if Christopher Eccleston, what number was he? I don't even know. I would guess maybe 10, but
9.
9. Yeah, see,
9.
I've lost track.
But it throws me off. It's like, well, there's the War Doctor, but he's not really the Doctor. He's like Doctor 8.5 or whatever, or 8A or whatever. And then there's the fugitive Doctor. That's like Dr. Zero, and just
I heard about that.
Yeah. It's still kind of confusing. I like it better when William Hartnell was the first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I prefer that, but it's out of my hands.
All right. So I think I covered everything I had to say.
I think I did too. Special thanks to Ed for the pointers, and
thank you, Ed.
And also thank you to you, because this was very. I did enjoy watching this again. It had been a while.
Yeah, I never would have chosen it, but I did enjoy it a lot. It was it was different, and that's great.
Yeah, very different.
Just so different. So all right. Thank you, Jim.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for joining us, and
Thanks,
we will be back.
Yes, indeed. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Arrivederci.